fruitful discussion. I extend our special thanks to the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament for his invitation to the Electoral Commission to participate in the just-ended Democracy Cup played at the Accra Sports Stadium on Wednesday, the 17th of July, 2024. We applaud him for taking this initiative, and we are confident that the rationale for the Democracy Cup, that is to foster and cement peace in our nation before, during, and after the 2024 election, will be our reality. So help us God. Our purpose here this afternoon will be twofold. It is to provide you with a briefing on our preparedness for the upcoming general election in December 2024, and to address any questions you may have. Additionally, we are open to receiving your feedback and input, which we believe will strengthen our work and our electoral processes. I'd like to begin by assuring you that as a commission, we are poised and ready to deliver free, fair, credible, transparent, and peaceful elections come the 7th of December 2024. Before I share our 2024 election program, please permit me to highlight a number of policy decisions we have taken as a commission. First, no new CI will be laid before Parliament ahead of the 2024 election. As such, the Commission relied on the current registration CI, that is CI 91, to conduct the voter registration exercise. We will also rely on our current election CI, that is CI 127, to undertake our elections. Again, the proposal to bring the election date forward to November will not be implemented in 2024. However, the Commission intends to forward the memorandum making this case to the Attorney General for its implementation in 2028. Additionally, the Commission will continue to use the indelible ink for the 2024 general election. We intend to maintain the filing fees charged in 2020, and we will maintain the 100,000 charged for the presidential candidates and the 10,000 Ghana cedis charged for parliamentary candidates. In addition, we intend to waive the filing fees by 25% for women and persons with disability. We believe this will go a long way to enhance the participation of women and persons with disability in the general election. Furthermore, we will, as in the case of 2020, waive the filing fees for the accreditation fees for our media personnel. We believe this will afford several media houses the opportunity to field more of their personnel in the field as observers come the elections in December 2024. We are confident that this gesture of goodwill would help increase the level of transparency required for the upcoming election and promote inclusiveness and ownership of our processes. That said, honorable members, I'll now turn our attention to the Commission's 2024 election program. I'd like to mention that our election calendar was discussed extensively at our Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting and received the buy-in of all the political parties. Indeed, the feedback from the political parties was fed into what became the final plan for the 2024 election. As you may be aware, we've concluded one of the most significant building blocks of the 2024 election. And by that, I'm referring to the revision of the voters' register. This took place from the 7th of May to the 29th of May 2024. Following feedback we received from the ground and from the political parties, the Commission extended the exercise for a further 2 days to make up for the slow network issues experienced in the first 2 days. Honorable members, the registration exercise was held in all our 268 district offices across the country, including the Guan district, in addition to 800 difficult-to-reach centers, or 800 other locations made up of 775 difficult-to-access electoral areas and 25 public universities. It is important to note that the choice of the 775 difficult-to-access areas was based on information obtained from our field staff as well as input from the political parties. It took a collaborative process to develop the list, hence the acceptance of our methodology by all the political parties. At the end of the 23-day exercise, we registered a total of 778,447 new voters, exceeding our original target of 623,000. Of the 778,447 persons who registered during the 2024 voters register, 63.68% used the guarantor system, 36.28% used the Ghana card, while 0.34% used their passports to prove their citizenship and age. Distinguished members of Parliament, the total number of females registered in 2024 sum up to 408,332, constituting 52.45% of those who registered in 2024, whilst male voters amount to 370,115, constituting 47.55% of the total registered in 2024. I'm pleased to note that following our engagement with the Ghana Federation for the Disabled, we witnessed an encouraging participation from persons with disability in the just ended registration exercise. A total of 1,341 persons with disabilities registered to vote, with the highest number coming from the Central Region. Additionally, the number of 18 to 21-year-olds whom we classify as the Commissioner's first-time voters added up to 646,884, constituting 83.10% of the 2024 register. As I mentioned, we classify the 18 to 21-year-olds as first-time voters. The number of transfers add up to 334,073, and the number of proxy voters add up to 2,364,000. Sorry, the number of proxy voters add up to 2,364 voters. Distinguished members of the House, I'm pleased to note that the total number of valid voters on our register to date adds up to 18,681,366. That said, it is important to note that all these figures mentioned are provisional, and they may change, although it may be very insignificant, after the mop-up exercise and after the exhibition exercise later on in August. Mr. Speaker, the provisional voters register as we speak is ready, and we have written to the parties and asked them to submit their hard drives to enable us copy the provisional voters register for their use and information. Distinguished members of the House, in our bid to provide timely information of the registration details to the citizenry, we missed a number of important steps in our data generation process. This resulted in some mistakes being made on some of the slides that we put out. We have since assessed our methods and introduced more rigorous processes, which we believe will guarantee accurate data going forward. All in all, Mr. Speaker, in terms of the arrangements put in place, the conduct of our field staff, the availability of materials, and the functioning of our equipment, among others, the 2024 voters registration exercise was highly successful. It was inclusive and highly participatory. To date, we have not heard or received any complaints relating to the disenfranchisement of citizens. Honorable members, we intend to undertake a mop-up voters registration exercise in the first 3 days of August, that is from the 1st to the 3rd of August 2024, to allow persons who turn 18 after the May 29th voters registration exercise to register to vote. The mop-up exercise will be held in all our district offices across the country, including the newly created One District. Additionally, we will extend the mop-up exercise to all prison centers across the country. We are working closely with the Ghana Prison Service, and we have obtained good details from them on the number of inmates in all the prison centers across the country. Honorable members, as you may be aware, we conducted the application for the transfer of votes exercise, as well as the replacement of lost ID cards in all our prison centers from the 3rd to the 5th of July 2024. This exercise, that is the application for the transfer of votes, was also extended to our security agencies. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we experienced some pockets of violence during the 2024 voters registration exercise. Thankfully, no lives were lost. The conflicts and violence stemmed mainly from the abuse of the guarantor system, which led party agents to challenge voters who were bussed to the centers by their opponents. As a commission, we will continue to advocate for the use of the Ghana card as the sole means to verify a person's age and citizenship. We believe that the sole reliance on the Ghana card to authenticate a person's age and citizenship will be the surest way of ensuring a credible register and reducing the tensions and conflict that often characterize our registration exercise. Honorable members, as you may be aware, we have also concluded the proxy voting and the transfer of votes exercise. This took place from the 30th of May to the 14th of June 2024. As mentioned, the application for the transfer of votes was extended for an additional 3 days, that is from the 3rd to the 5th of July, and it covered the prison centers across the country. Indeed, both exercises were very successful. We have also concluded the compilation of the special voters list. This was held from the 17th of June to the 1st of July 2024, but was extended for an additional 2 days from the 6th to the 7th of July 2024. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, we have a total number of 131,005 persons made up of security agencies and media personnel on the special voters list. As was the case in 2020, we engaged with the heads of the security agencies, including the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Prison Service, Immigration, Customs, the Ghana Armed Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, as well as the Ghana Journalists Association and the Private Broadcasters Association, and briefed them on the modalities for the application for the special voting to ensure that they had a good understanding of how the process works. This was to prevent the confusion that had characterized special voting prior to the 2020 election. we are confident that as in 2020, the special voting slated for the 2nd of December 2024 will be incident-free and seamless. I'm happy to note, Mr. Speaker, that next week we will be uploading the special voters list on our website. We've also written to our security agencies and the media to provide us with pen drives to put the register on there to enable their members review this list and bring to our attention any errors or issues we may have with the register. Honorable members, in view of the Mop-up registration exercise scheduled to take place in the first 3 days of August, we have rescheduled the voters exhibition exercise from the 15th to the 21st, from the 15th to the 24th of July to the 20th to the 27th of August. The exercise will be held in over 40,000 polling stations across the country. In addition to exhibiting the register in all our polling stations, we will also exhibit the register electronically to allow citizens to check their registration details on their telephones for a small fee. This electronic register will be in place on the 20th of August until the election day. As we speak, honorable members, we have completed the recruitment of all our temporary officials. In all, we recruited close to 210,000 temporary officials, and they include our returning officers and their deputies, presiding officers, verification officers, name reference officers, among others. We intend to offer them in-depth training to ensure that they operate and carry out their mandates as expected of them. For the first time in our history, we've created a database to capture the details of all our temporary officials. We can now identify each temporary staff by their names, their photographs, their voters card, their Ghana cards, and their residential addresses. All these details have been factored on our database. Hitherto, our temporary staff were simply names on paper, but we believe that with the production of this database, with the preparation of this database, it will further enhance transparency and promote and foster the needed accountability required from our temporary staff. Distinguished members of Parliament, we recognize that the performance of our officers in the field is key to the successful outcome of the elections. In this regard, we have beefed up our training department and made a number of key appointments to that department. As you may have heard, Dr. Sribo Kweku, who leads most of our public engagements, is now the head of our training department. We are confident that with his experience and competencies, we'll witness a transformation of our training department, and this will no doubt have a ripple effect on all our staff, both permanent and temporary. We are also updating our training manuals to ensure that they are easy to read and understand, and we believe that this will go a long way to beefing up our training and improving the competencies and performance of our temporary staff on election day. For the first time, we are also developing short educational videos on key aspects of our work to complement our in-person training. This will be disseminated to all our staff. In the area of security and safety of our voters and our property, we continue to collaborate with the National Election Security Task Force under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police to ensure the security of all citizens at all our centers nationwide. It is important to note that whilst we engage under the platform of the Election Security Task Force at all levels, national, regional, and district, the Electoral Commission is not responsible for security. Very often we've heard that the Electoral Commission is responsible for security, and we would like to emphasize that This is a mandate of the security agencies. We do not believe that they will cede any aspect of that to us. What we do is to collaborate with them and to provide them with details of all our centers, provide them with details of our printing arrangements to enable them, work with us and protect the ballots, especially when we are transporting these ballots to the regions. We also use their armories to keep our ballots and sensitive materials. Beyond this, honorable members, the police have full responsibility for security before, during, and after the elections, and they take all their security decisions without recourse to the Electoral Commission. Honorable members, as you may be aware, our IPAC meetings are ongoing, and following our invitation to the National Democratic Congress last year, the NDC has returned to IPAC and are engaging and contributing constructively to the dialogue process. We have managed to broker consensus amongst all the parties on many of the issues we have discussed at IPAC. Where there have not been agreement, both ourselves and the parties have agreed to disagree. We trust that the cooperation we have witnessed will continue to characterize our IPAC meetings in the months ahead. As a commission, ladies and gentlemen, we are desirous of upholding the principles of transparency and openness, and we continue to use the platform of the Let the Citizen Know to brief the citizens on key aspects of our work and answer their concerns. As you may be aware, during our just-ended registration, for instance, we briefed the citizenry regularly on data coming in from the registration. We provided statistics on key indicators, including the number of male-female voters, number of persons with disability who had voted across the country, amongst others. This opened up our processes and enabled interested citizens to collate the number of registrants on any given day. As stated earlier, we have introduced more rigorous methods into our data generation processes, and we would like to assure you that the previous mistakes will be a thing of the past, God being our helper. I'd like to reiterate that to ensure the sanctity of our processes and the stability of our nation, we'll continue as a commission to address misinformation and disinformation about our work through our timely press releases and press briefings. I think it's been obvious that hate speech, misinformation, and disinformation against the EC has become the order of the day. And we are of the view that providing timely responses to counter this trend will go a long way to engender trust and confidence in our processes and reduce suspicions and tensions. Distinguished honorable members, I end by reiterating that as a commission, we are committed to providing a level playing field for all candidates and political parties and to undertaking our mandate without fear or favor. From the registration to the declaration, our processes are embedded with one key ingredient, and that is transparency, transparency, transparency. As such, we will continue to operate in the spirit of transparency, fairness, and integrity as embedded in our motto, and work to deliver credible, fair, peaceful, and transparent electoral processes in elections come the 7th of December 2024. I'd like to thank all of you for your attention, and we look forward to answering your questions and concerns as we partner to ensure that in the end, our beloved country wins. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. Thank you.